All right, we are live Saturday the 19th. It's a beautiful weekend here. It's like 70s, beautiful. We're saying no rain here in the Northeast for about another couple weeks, so it's dry. So
That's unbelievable.
yeah, when was the last time we had rain, Hank? A week ago? I mean, it's been a while.
More than that. More
Yeah.
than that. Yeah. I mean, my ground is so dry that when I was cutting grass, I was in the dust storm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
This week, what did we do this week? We had this guy brought me a Chinese, German, whatever the heck you call it. Hold on, let me show you. Schroeder, and it's funny. They put a German thing on it.
The Schroeder,
and he's not the guy from Charlie Brown who plays the piano. Anyway, it's got a German flag on it, but it's Chinese, and he said sold on Amazon about $200-300. Anyway, so the guy says to me, the throttle's stuck and other ailments. Okay. So he brings it over in a Ziploc bag full of parts, and he tried taking it apart himself. I did a video. If you look at my last video, it's the one on that. Anyway, I don't know why he tried taking the muffler off, but he couldn't get the heat shield off. It had an L-shaped bracket. You just had to take the cap screw out and take it off. No, he took the cover and went like this until it cracked it off the bracket. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not going back on like that. So then the screws, they're special long, like 90 millimeter long M6x1s. And I didn't have anything like that in stock. So I had to go to the hardware store and get it. And I wanted to make sure, since he didn't have that bracket, I didn't want it to come off. So I tried putting a nut in the back, like a jam nut, to try and jam it on. But thread against thread, trying to time it correctly, I just couldn't do it. It didn't work. So I tightened the heck out of it. Seems to run good. But then I said to the guy, as far as the throttle goes, I said, you can go like that and it's full throttle, but then when you let go of throttle, it sticks because inside the sheathing, it must be kinked or something. Okay. So anyway, I said to him, I said, you could take your finger and just pull it back to idle if you want to idle it. I said, it's up to you. I said, you go on to the Schroeder website and they only sell like 7 spare parts. And one of them is the whole throttle assembly. Let me see if I can pull it up. And the whole throttle assembly is $50 plus shipping. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And you got to buy like the whole throttle,
Yeah.
But it's like $50.
Cable clips.
It's like $10. And I said to him, I said, look, how often a year do you use it? Oh, once a year, right? Doing leaves. Okay. Yeah. How often do you idle it? Don't you mostly have it on full throttle? Yeah. I go, so start it up, put it on full throttle, put it on your back, go. If you got to leave for a few minutes, take it off and shut it off or put the throttle down, whatever. But I said, really, blowers are used full throttle so that they run good, cool good, and all that. So what's the issue? I said, I'll do whatever you want. It's your money. So finally, I give him a price. I said, here is it without the new throttle, if you use your finger, and here's it with the new throttle. And the difference was like $80. And he's like, yeah, just do it the cheaper one. I mean, whatever. So went to the hardware store and got some bolts. And, like I said, worked perfect, starts, runs great. So then you get the thing where you text them and this and that and the other thing, and then they don't return the text. Or aren't you going to come pick it up? They don't return the text. It's like, now what, I'm a storage facility? I hate that. You got to get it fixed. And then when you tell them how much and pick it up, they're like, yeah, whatever. I don't need it right now. Well, I need it out of here.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know. Klaus, do you charge for storage?
I usually tell them that I tell them beforehand, actually, how it works.
Yeah.
And I rarely have issues. If once in a while somebody will say, well, you can don't rush it because we're going on vacation for the
I get that. Yeah, I'm going away for a week.
Yeah. Then don't bring it. I mean, because when I call you, you come pick it up. Otherwise, it'll be by the side of the road.
No, so I told him today, I was busy with this thing, and I said, come after 5 if you want. So hopefully he'll be here. And then I was telling you guys before, he's like, do you take Venmo? I'm like, nope, cash. And, like I said to Hank, you get guys sometimes that never have any money on them. But that's fine. Go to the ATM like everybody else,
Yeah.
So it's like, where else are you going to go on Saturday? Basically drop this thing off Thursday night.
I mean, it's like
Saturday morning.
I mean, you can expect people to expect that kind of service if they paid full rate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But they don't. So
the dealer's never going to touch this thing.
No, they're not going to let it in the front door at all. I mean,
And the dealer's not going to get it to you in 2 days. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
That's just to look at it, probably. Then they're going to say, I can't fix this piece of garbage. I even said to my dealer today, I told him about it. He goes, yeah. He goes, people try bringing those in. He goes, it's like when they bring in a weed eater or something. It's like, it's not worth their time. An hour's labor is more than it's worth.
2 months over here, Hank.
2 months what?
Month?
2 months. Yeah,
Wow.
2 to 3 months to get something from a dealer.
Oh, wow.
The season's over with, and your grass is.
You got to remember, most of these dealers work on their own equipment that they've sold first. And if you're like, you've gone and bought something from Home Depot or Rona or whatever, you're at the back of the list. Like, you don't move up.
And you know what? It's actually, I find that fair enough. I really do. Because you didn't contribute to that dealership making any money or living. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And normally we tell customers that bring equipment like that here, look, go to this dealership, buy something that's going to cost you anywhere from, I don't know, let's say $170 to $300, brand new. You're going to have the warranty. If something happens, they'll work on it right away.
Yeah.
They can get all the parts you need. When you're buying this stuff, you can't even find the part for it.
No.
But people forget that. I mean, they either focused on the price of the machine or something else. They forget to,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Hey, it keeps us busy. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Well, even the different dealers. I remember when we had a few dealers around here, like John Deere, they'd look at the sticker on the tractor, and if you didn't buy from them, you go into the back of the line.
Yeah. Even though the big brand names, they tell the dealers, don't do that. You need to work on warranty.
No, you can, but it's not going to be an important rush,
No.
Well, they'll put the new guy on.
Yeah, that too.
The new guy.
He'll strip the screws, red Loctite, everything, so it never comes apart again.
Crazy. So anyway, that's done. I'm finishing up a chainsaw and a Husky 350. That'll be done tonight or tomorrow. I finally got the rest of the parts for it. But like I said, now once that's done, now I got to look at the 4 or 5 things that were when you get around to it type things, and I got to determine which ones I want to do. But the snow blowers, I'm getting the calls. They're starting to call, and God knows if we'll have snow this year, but they're starting to. The calls coming in to service the snow blowers and leaf blowers, especially because now the leaves, they're falling pretty good. I mean, my yard and my mom's yard, a lot of leaves already. So, I don't know if we're going to get a frost in the next, month, who the hell knows? But, once we get a frost, that's when most of them come down. But at this point, I'd say they're about maybe 10%, 15%. But some of the yards.
When our mums turn all brown.
Yeah.
That's when leaves come down.
I tell you, mine though, Hank. I had a big white one. It's turning like pink. It's weird.
Yeah,
pink purple color, and the yellows are turning like a crimson color.
Yep.
But, I think I'm not even gonna cut them. I'm just gonna let them overwinter and see what happens next year.
Oh, don't cut them. No.
No, I got like 10 of them all together, so we'll see what happens.
When you leave the crown on it, it helps it for stay warm. The roots.
I usually put leaf mulch all over them too, and that way when they stay there, the squirrels won't try and get the bulbs and stuff. But what about you, Hank? You working on anything besides your yard or what?
No, I worked all week on my the canopy that I put up. If you watch the video, you'll see all the different steps to put it all together.
What's going on with the addition? Any progress?
He was here yesterday, and we talked about the addition basement because the way the drainage for the shower, the sink, and the toilet would have to go. There has to be a short part of a basement so they can or whoever can repair if anything goes wrong.
Right.
Well, now, do you have septic or sewer?
I have septic. That's the problem.
You have to add on to that or anything?
Well, hopefully not. I told him if the town makes me add on to the septic, that's going to be a considerable amount of money, and the whole deal's off. Forget about even starting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's about $25,000 just to add on.
Yeah. Friends of mine that do excavation, and they say that's the big bucks is septic and doing all the leaching fields and all that, you know. But
So you don't have sewer going down a street you can hook into and get the house on that?
a lot of areas here don't. Depends on when it was built and how much rock is in the soil.
Okay.
We have a lot
Right.
of ledge,
Oh, yeah, right.
ledge, and to blast it, it's a lot of money. So
We got 12 feet of clay, so we're good.
yeah. All right, Klaus, what's going on with you?
Well, actually, almost a similar problem to your Chinese backpack. I've been working on a plate compactor, a small one, a 60 kilo one. Same issue, 100% Wuhan model. Parts, forget it. I mean, it said H power on the side, and then it said C-60 on the front by the exciter. So I figured C60, that must be like an exciter size something. So I went online and I needed a new belt for it. And and the picture even looked exactly like the one I had. Okay, I ordered this belt. Belt came. Belt was too small. It uses a 5/8 belt instead of a 1/2 inch. So yeah. Anybody need an extra belt?
5/8?
5/8. 5/8.
That seems thick.
It is. But the little 1/2 inch just sunk to the bottom of both pulleys, but and couldn't do nothing. So yeah. I think the ones that use 1/2 inch, they usually have 2 belts on them. But this one only has one, and it's a big old belt. But yeah, same thing. I mean, somebody's been working on it, by the way. There was some spring cable tie thingy dingy that went into the to the governor arm. Somebody made something for themselves there, and dampener spring was missing on the rod from the to the carburetor. The throttle plate had all kinds of weird bends in it. I mean, that thing was a mess. Carburetor, I couldn't get the jet out. They got totally stripped in the totally.
Oh.
Yep. So
From
it got a
others
new.
working on it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can use, have you tried the reverse left-hand drill bit or something like that?
No, I tried using my left hand, picking it up and throw it in the trash can, and then put a new aftermarket one on right away.
Nothing wrong with being left-handed, guys.
I know, yeah, but I mean, you could, but this carb was you never know how it is, because you can see it's been cleaned before. It rusted up again. Bowl was shot. Needed a new bowl anyways. A gasket set. A new aftermarket one comes with gaskets and everything. Put it on. $30 next.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got a new carb. It had a the air cleaner housing is one of those where you got a little round foamy thing inside, and then it's got an oil bath, which is good. I mean that's a good way of.
You don't see many oil baths lately.
No, yeah, but it's there, except the base had a crack and was leaking. So I pour oil in, oil ran out. I mean, it's one of those machines. I called the guy up midway and said, "Are you sure you want this fixed?" He said, "Yeah, I need it on Saturday." Okay, we'll do that. But I just wanted to let you know, you need a new carb, you need new this and new that, and new belt, and new. Yeah. Well,
would have been easier to just take the gas cap off, slip in a new machine, and put the gas cap back on.
I mean, I wish I could. Because it's a $500 machine, brand new. And this guy just paid me $350 for the fix. Yeah. So I had three and a half.
To go over half the value of the machine.
Yeah, the one brand new.
Yeah.
But it's funny though. I scrolled down. I'm like, if this guy had just done the 2-year plan,
yeah,
it's like every single spare part they sell is that money. So if he had, it's only a year old. If he had that, they would have shipped him a brand new one. So
yeah,
that's what I'd say. If anyone wants to buy one of these, get that plan, because you'll save it in the end.
Okay, do any of you guys buy the plan?
Nope.
When you buy something, no.
No, the only one I buy, Harbor Freight on the engines.
Oh yeah.
For $30 or whatever, and I've actually bought used Predator engines, okay, that where the guy had the and I
Don't say anything; they'll hear you.
No. But the guy gave me the receipts. A lot of them will put the receipt like in the box, keep the box, whatever. And then I would go back, and it was something. And I'd have a crap one. I bring it. They give it to you. There's no length of time. You know, well on Harbor Freight, I don't. Is there a length of time on Harbor Freight? Is it 1 year on the Harbor Freight? I don't know if it's 1 year. Well, but some of them have unlimited, like 2, 3, 4 years, and you can just go anytime. It's pretty cool.
I don't think Harbor Freight. I think Princess Auto, but it's same. Yeah. It's the same store. Right?
Yeah.
Same idea.
Yep. But nice to have something for free.
So I'll just mention this. I was at Princess Auto, and I got a 5 horsepower Snow King brakes. Is it possible? Snow something, right? And it had a broken tube for draining the oil.
Yeah.
And I got it for $20.
Wow.
So I just took the tube out, put the bolt back where the tube was.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah.
Nicholas, you asked about winterizing. I don't know if that's a water cooled or air cooled, but my suggestion on winterizing anything lately is put in like an alkylate fuel, like Aspen or an alkylate fuel in the tank if you want to keep it with fuel, or drain it. But I know some people say it'll rust if you don't have something in there, and I like the alkylate fuel, like Aspen, or what's the ones that you have, Klaus? There's different ones, or no?
Steel makes both.
Yeah. What about Wayne? What's the one that you sell?
Kinetics from Briggs and Stratton.
Yeah, depending on where you are, Nicholas. But I mean, if you're gonna restart it every now and then, I would use the alkylate fuel. You know, because
any of the generators that we've serviced, and they always get a liter of the Kinetics, the alkylate fuel in them.
Yep.
We've never had any issues. We've even called people that 5 years ago we gave it to them and never had a problem with condensation inside them tanks.
Generators are the ultimate test, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Last time it ran, the last time I used it 5 years ago.
Yep.
Hey, I was looking at an electric warmer grip chainsaw, an older Johnson Red, and the guy's wife called me and said, "Oh, he'll be home Monday, and you can have it then." I said, "Okay." It was $40, right? You need a little bit of work. He just sent me a text. What's this?
Oh, you stalled out. Oh, there we go.
He just sent a text. Where is it? There we go. Yeah. How is it just sold? I called. No one else was looking at it, and your wife was gonna let me know on Monday.
Yeah.
For $40. I mean, I've seen these saws going for $300-400 because just the stator and the wiring for the heated grip is a lot of money on these things.
Yeah.
You know, especially in Canada and stuff like that, they like the heated grips. You know. But anyway, I just saved $40. How's that? Look at it that way. Anywho, John Road. Hello, John. Hello. Everyone's saying hello. But what else is cooking, Klaus? Anything else?
And not much. Things are slowing down now for me. It's kind of nice because I don't get to see a whole lot of snow blowers. We don't get that much snow, and that'll be the odd.
What about leaf blower chainsaw, that kind of thing? Is that
Chainsaws will start coming in as people, yank them out. But leaf blowers, it's not that big of a deal here.
Yeah.
The ones that I do see, they're mostly commercial, like a Billy Goat and some of the good ones. But it's slowing down. It's kind of nice.
It is nice.
It is nice, yeah. So.
Yeah, I had that saw that I was working on, the 350 Husky. I had used red Durco, and don't ask me why, but it developed a little bit of a leak when I was doing pressure testing. And I don't know if you guys saw that other video I did on pressure testing where I just dunked it in the water. I ended up buying another Durco, which is a gray Durco. All right, and our friend Tom sent me the MSDS on it, and I guess it's supposedly a little better than the red. I don't know why, but it's supposedly a little more popular. But $35 a tube.
Oh yeah. But Kenny, why was it leaking in the first place? Was that a brand new seal?
No. It was the base gasket. When I took it apart, someone must have stepped on it or did something. It had like a fold in it.
Oh, yeah.
So when I put it down, that little fold, it just not a lot, but you put it just a little bit of a nail. And then, you're not gonna brand new rebuild, you're not going to deliver it like that. So I took it apart, and then someone had suggested trying the Great Durco. So I bought that, and Tom and I did it together last week. We went on, he was on with me, and we put the bead around it and new seals and all that. And the video that I showed is of an MS290 that I did about a year ago. This is a Husky 350, but I did the same thing, but I had a 5-gallon pail of water. And what happened was I went down with it, nothing. The minute I hit the parting line where the exhaust port was, and the muffler, I used a wedge of rubber in there and tightened it, but the muffler was like this, the surface.
Oh, yeah, it didn't seal.
Flat. So I think I'm going to make some adapter plates to do my pressure of access, but I do like what I did, though, using like a 5 or 6 PSI out of my regulator for my compressor and just letting it pressure.
Gotta go, guys.
The crankcase.
Got somebody in the back alley.
All right.
Okay, Bruce.
But I like doing it that way because, if you're trying to, you spray soapy water, now you're going with your Mighty Vac. Sometimes you don't see it. You know what I mean? At least with the constant 5 PSI going into it, as soon as I saw that leak in the water, I put my thumb over the exhaust port. The pressure went right back up and held dead. And I'm like, okay. So now I know it was good. So, yeah. So that's all. But like I said, that saw had been sitting here. Oh, my gosh. I think I've had a year and a half. And the kid's like, I need it. So anyway, and I got a 455 Rancher that I bought off of Craigslist about a year ago. The guy wanted, what the hell did he want? He said 50 or 100 or best offer, and no, 75 or best offer, or 70 or best offer. And he said, no, someone's already coming for us. Okay. But I said, if not, I'll give you 80, $10 more. And I said, I'm just down the road from you in Stratford. I said, I can meet you anytime, whatever. So a day goes by. All of a sudden I get a text, the saw's yours. And I'm like, who the hell is this? I didn't know who he was. And he texted me. He goes, yeah, the other guy didn't want to pay he tried to get there and say, okay, I'll give you 50 or whatever. You know how it is.
Yeah.
This thing looked like it had 1-2 tanks of fuel in it. That was it. And they straight gassed it. So I ended up going to, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Dukes. They sell saw parts and stuff. The Duke, it's called. He makes his own pistons and stuff like that. So I bought a piston for it. And what's nice about the Rancher, instead of having like Durco or something, they're pre-molded silicone gaskets, 2 of them, that go on it. So this thing has no hours on it, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And I'm just going to, if there's any transfer in the cylinder, take that off and put it back together. And, they go for $400 new, used, no hours on it. I can get $300 for it. So the chain's like brand new. So, but 455 Rancher is a real popular saw around here. But this is saw season and leaf season. So that'll be going till Christmas time. We'll see. Robert. Yeah. What do you got going on, Robert? What are you working on? Anything?
Well, I finally got a die-hard battery maintainer. Ace Hardware, and I got hooked up to the battery on the GT.
Yeah. Now, is that the kind that does all kinds of batteries, or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, do you have to dial in what the battery is, or does it automatically sense it?
It automatically senses it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But then I had to redo the battery retaining bracket for my the battery on the GT.
Yeah.
And I looked at the rod that held it in. I'm like, yeah. So I went to Ace Hardware to try to find them, but all they had was 1 foot long threaded stock.
Yeah.
So I just cut it off to the right spot. But I was putting the one side in. I'm like, what is this doing? Now I found out.
What's the model of the maintainer? Do you know the model number or anything? It was a Craftsman one or Ace Hardware? What was it?
No, I was a Craftsman. I think it was a 150 109.
Yeah, let's see, because battery maintainers, I mean, Klaus, I know on some of them you got the rejuvenator as well, where it'll desulfated and all that stuff.
Yeah, I got that on mine. Mine is just a small 5 amp one, just the regular.
What do you guys do? Like, Wayne, what do you guys do in the winter? Say you have like 10 batteries. Do you put them all in trickle, or what do you do for the winter?
What if I got brand new batteries?
Well, no, say you got batteries that are decent, but if you don't charge them, they're going to go dead.
They sit on a shelf underneath the bench. They get a charge, and they sit inside a heated shop.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, same here.
Like this, Robert? This one here?
Nah, mine's a little small black one.
Black one? Let's see.
I
Oh, Die Hard or no?
yeah, die hard. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, because I'm thinking about getting. I have a 4 amp charger from like 1965 that my father had bought. New. It still has a box for it. Still has a warranty card in it too from Sears, and
Yeah.
works great. 4 amp. It works phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah. But the only thing about the old, I got an old one too, just in case you need to try and jumpstart a battery
Yeah.
that's gone flat.
I've got the big Schumacher box for that. Yeah.
But the intelligent ones, I mean, first of all, they're much easier on the batteries, and they will tell you if something is wrong. If it doesn't take a charge fast enough, it'll tell you. If it's got a short, it'll tell you. And I kind of like him. And you can leave them. They switch over to trickle charge once the battery is full. So
Yeah, the battery charger we use is the NOCO.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
one, Robert.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
They sell it on Amazon. I think it's $43. It's weird. There's a 2 amp like the maintainer for $43, and then it goes up to a 10 amp, which is like really smart, and that's like $100.
Yeah, mine's a 2 amp version. Then we went to Walmart and I looked at the Everstart, the NOCO, and a few others. I'm like, yeah, well. Now, another day I checked the battery voltage after I let it sit for a while on the battery, and it was 13.88.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I checked the battery on the YS 4500, and it's at 12.82, but there's a different charging system than that Kohler. But I said I had to have something because the battery in that Craftsman needs to be replaced because they did not do the date on the when it was put in service.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what the? I'm like, excuse me, but somebody forgot to do something at the factory. I think they do that when they add the acid to it, but it's a maintenance-free battery also. I said I gotta have something to keep that battery up till I can get to. I'd like to go to the battery warehouse in Millersville because they make the Gold Eagle that's got that little glass in it. You can look down there and see a green light, but I don't know if they still make that.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, remember the old Die Hards with the green light? No, the was it Die Hard or was it the GM batteries that had the green light in it? I think it was the Die Hards.
some still do.
The
Yeah.
Telltale, you can see the green light,
Yeah.
the battery's okay.
Yeah,
unless the little floaty thing gets stuck in there,
Yeah.
and it's crap.
Yeah, because the one I had, if it was a dark green, it was starting to get low, and then it would go to red. But then if I charged it, then it got to a real light green. But you had to look at it in the daytime. So I look at it at night, like, I see the glass, but I don't see the light.
Yeah.
That and plus I need a fast. The manual says for me to use minimum 280. I don't know, cold cranking amps or regular cranking amps. But,
Well, they say the most CCA, the best, better if you can afford it.
Because the batteries in the mower now is 3 something.
Yeah, my dealer sells 2 batteries. One is like a 280 and the other's like a 400, but difference $55, $75, between the 2 batteries.
But I was in Ace Hardware and I told them about the battery, and I'm like, I should have brought the battery and did a core charge.
I think what gets most batteries here is that people don't charge them, and then they store in the machine somewhere where it freezes.
Yeah.
And you got a dead battery, it'll freeze at -2C.
Yeah, as long as it goes below 12 volts, it'll freeze.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at them, if they just look a little bit pregnant, they're done for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although I had a battery, I think it was like 15 years old, swollen out on the side. It still cranked the car. I don't know what the heck it was. Still did.
But look at Brucey's battery that he's got. I think it was like 14 or 15 years old, and it's still kicking.
I mean, and you can do that even to cheaper batteries if you just maintain them.
Yeah,
They'll last
absolutely.
a long time.
Yeah. Oh, and I found a video on YouTube.
No, hold on. We're still missing what Wayne's been doing this week.
What Wayne's been doing?
Yeah.
Mostly snow blowers that are coming in. Jake went and bought up an old one that I forget. It's likely 5 years ago we sold it to this guy. And, the first thing you get is, I've hardly used this thing, and now I can't get it started. The recoil rope's broken. I tried the electric starter, and it doesn't turn over the engine. It just goes, zzz. So he says, can you pick it up? Jake went to pick it up. While he was there, the guy said, and this one's for you, Robert. The guy says to Jake, I got a generator here. It needs a recoil rope. Do you want to buy it? And Jake said, it depends what you want for it. And the guy said, how's $40? Jake said, oh yeah, I'll buy it for $40. Taking a chance that it puts out power and everything. And I don't know if you guys got them in the States, but they're I think it's a Coleman. It's camouflage painted. You know what I mean? It's got the leaves on it. It's camouflage. Normally the hunters buy them for hunting, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I pull the recoil off, and guess what? There's no guts to it. Everything's gone out of the inside. So Jake ordered one online for, I think it was $17. The only downfall of it, it says that after 3 or 4 pulls on the rope, it's Chinese rope, it's going to break. So I restrung it with some True Blue from Stens.
Yeah.
Put it on. Fires right up, but here we go for Robert. Robert, when we got that thing and we got the fuel out of it and we put alkylate fuel in it, and we fired it up, and it fired up first pull, but it hunted like crazy. So I made the mistake when I cleaned the carburetor. All I did was take my little tiny wire that I got set on on a wooden dowel to push it through because the hole's so small on those pilot jets.
Yeah.
And it still hunted exactly the same. So I popped the pilot jet again, and I started with the micro drills. And I got it cleaned out to 18 thousandths of an inch where it wasn't pulling any brass, but it was pulling some crap out of that opening. Put it back on, and the hunting was way better, but it still was hunting. So we went from 18 thou to 21 thousandths of an inch, and 21 thou it doesn't hunt anymore.
Man.
But
I don't know what it is with those small pilot jets, but sometimes something can get stuck in there, and it's in there. It's like
yeah.
It's like that strand from your wire brush. It just bends.
Doesn't clean it out.
Yeah.
The hole is so small, anything could clog it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the water condensating around it clogs it.
Yeah, but sometimes you can get like some sort of foreign matter that is stuck in there. I mean, it doesn't just go through. You sort of have to poke at it to get it to go through.
Yeah. So the rule here has now changed. Any carburetors that got that pilot jet, from now on, we take the micro drill set to make sure it's open to the point where it's just starting to grab brass. Then we try it. Then we go thousandths at a time until we stop hunting if it hunts.
Yeah.
So now getting to the snow blower. So, we fix the snow blower, we get it operational, and now we got to check the what's going on with the electric starter. So as I unbolt the gas tank, the starter falls off. The bottom 2 bolts are gone. One of them stripped out. The threads are stripped. So now we're waiting for the guy to get back on Monday to see if he wants to spend the money for us to put helicoils in the bottom 2 holes, so he can have an electric starter if he needs it. If not, we'll give him something off of the bill, and we'll keep the starter, because I got another snow blower that came in that's got a burnt out starter.
Now, is the starter on his generator the 110 or the 12 volt?
No, this is on a snow blower, 110.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
120 volt.
Yeah.
And on a snow blower, you got to remember, you're not supposed to use like a 150-foot extension cord. You're supposed to got the electrician in the middle here on the lower unit to explain what happens with voltage drop over length.
Party on, Garth. Party on, Wayne. It's Wayne's World.
Canadians.
Wayne's World. Hey, Michael wrote here. What do you guys do about rust?
Well, I think a couple of people has already replied to it. I use wire wheel or evaporust depending on the.
Yeah, I like evaporust myself.
Yeah,
Both.
but if it's just a bolt, I'm gonna wire wheel it. But if it's inside a tank, evaporust.
Yeah,
always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends what it's on. Wire wheels. I do like the evaporust.
It's good stuff. It really is.
I actually used it on a rusty chainsaw chain. Oh man, it made it like brand new.
Yeah.
Is it Brett that puts the chainsaw chains into his ultrasonic cleaner and they come out just fantastic?
Yeah.
I mean the ultrasonic won't take off rust, but it'll free up any.
It might.
If
it's bad.
What if we put evaporust in the ultrasonic?
I thought of that and I have not done it yet.
Yeah, I haven't done it either. I'm surprised.
And pickling vinegar works really good because it's got more acid content to it.
Hey, isn't this guy by you guys, Dan? Isn't he in Canada by you guys somewhere? I thought he's is he north or
he might be? I don't know if he's in Newfoundland or wherever he is.
Where are
you from, Dan?
He's from outer space.
So, let's see.
Have we done the who's doing what to who? Question.
We're just missing you, Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
who does the what to who?
Happy hour night. I'm over at my buddy Gord's. You guys might have met him over time. And he has a 9 horsepower Craftsman snowblower with the good 9 horse brakes. And it's a plastic chute control, you go like this, and there's about 16 little connections to the end, and it's terrible design. It's MTD. And we stripped that apart before we had any adult beverages. And all I did was blow the grease out of it because it's about 10 years old, and I put new white grease on it and put it back together. But it was about 8 screws and shafts and pins and butterfly nuts and that crazy little figure 8 clip that's not a,
Is that the one that works off the cable, Bruce? Or
yes.
They're terrible.
There's 2 cables, one right in the handle.
Yeah, correct.
And then there's another cable that goes out, almost like a motorcycle, and it goes out to the front. And that just swings it back and forth. But that other push button actually releases the lever that unclips it. So it's 3 cables actually altogether. It's terrible.
You wonder why they didn't stay with the old crank, eh? There was nothing wrong with the hand crank to turn it. They never rotated on their own, but when you got the cables, guys complain it's swinging on its own in the wind. And
I've got the old crank on my John Deere, which is an Ariens from 1978, and it, they're hard to adjust at times, but once you get it, it's there forever.
Yeah.
I thought you sold the John Deere.
I kept the no, I didn't. I kept that one. I sold the one in between that I did recondition. I didn't rebuild it. I reconditioned it. There's a big difference.
Was that the gray one?
No, I kept the gray one. This one was like a 24-inch 5 horsepower, and it had crumpled in augers. It had, it was bad. So I spent about 3 months fixing it, and then I got about $400 for it.
Bruce, how old's your battery in your tractor?
2008.
2008. That's old. We said 14 years. I said I got that from 14 years.
I got that tractor from a guy who was also a telephone maintenance technician, and that's what we do is maintain DC batteries, right? So, I got it from the very best person I could have got it from.
Yeah. Dan Solo's from Saskatchewan.
There you go.
That's where my grandparents immigrated to from the Ukraine.
You can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
Yeah.
That's the joke out here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you can still see the dog.
Yeah, well, all those damn trees do is spoil the view.
Yeah.
So, but north of Saskatoon, about 80 miles north of Saskatoon, it turns into bush, and it goes all the way north over the Arctic Circle until the trees start getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Then there's no trees, and there's another 2,000 miles of tundra.
Al McLean says he's got a homebrew recipe for Evaporust. He hasn't tried it yet.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, there's a few I've seen on YouTube with different.
What is it, Al?
Things like that. Yeah.
Probably vinegar.
It's a secret, Bruce.
Yeah, vinegar and Coke.
Well, the good thing about Evaporust is it's reusable. You can keep using it for, I guess, a certain amount of time.
Right.
Yeah,
I use the shop.
there's that
shop
battery.
rags for filters.
Yeah, there's that battery maintainer I got.
Yep. Good one.
Yep.
Die hard.
I couldn't believe Die Hard is coming back. I'm like, because that's the only place you could find Die Hard was at Sears, and now they're coming back, and they're being sold at Ace Hardware. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, but I heard was Klaus who was telling me Ace Hardware got sold.
Ace Hardware is getting sold. Yeah.
Is Lowe's open in the States?
Yeah.
Okay, they went bankrupt up here.
Really?
Mhm.
That's because of all. That's because of all the tight Canadians.
No, you know what happens? You know what happens though? Is the big boys come up here, and we've got one of the largest countries on earth for shipping, and we don't have any population. So they're coming up here. We've got 10% of the Americans' population, and we've got, this thing has to be shipped 2,500 kilometers, and they don't like that.
No.
And we don't have any north-south. Like you got Americans all about north-south and east-west. We just have east and west. And there's a few people up north. Hi, up there. Yellowknife, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, AutoZone has die-hard batteries.
Sorry, I digress.
Yeah, Jake's trying to get a contract with, I think it's GNB out of Hamilton, Ontario, so we can buy our batteries at a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But everything we use is 370 cranking amps.
Oof! Wow.
Right. Yeah, I have a 200, and it just doesn't cut the mustard. I have two.
I buy regular 250 amp with 250 cold cranking, 28 amp for your run-of-the-mill AYP MTD tractors. Some of the MTDs they actually come with a smaller battery, not in size but in output.
Yeah,
I dump one of these 250 CCA in them, and they run fine. I mean,
I have a 300 and a 200, and the 200 doesn't quite cut it. I use that 100 amp battery tester, and the needle just goes, and it stops at about no good.
Yeah.
But it's still good. It's just a small battery.
I had a guy in last year. He bought a brand new battery in a, I can't remember the brand, but it's a brand name over here. It's not a bad battery, but it was only a 22 amp battery, and the machine requires a 28. He burned that battery out in one season.
Right.
Just for regular starting. He said, does the machine have any starting issues? No. I crank, it starts. And just because it's too small, they can't handle it.
It's like using a small tractor battery in a car.
Yeah, I mean,
Same comparison.
there you go, Bruce. Try that out.
I finally found the battery in my car.
The citric acid is probably what does the cleaning.
Yeah,
And it makes a bubble.
Yeah.
The citric acid takes away the iron oxide.
And the baking soda, that's interesting. The two might react right in the can.
Yeah, but still, that's good for taking away grease so that the acid can get to the metal.
Yeah.
But I don't know if what it does, but yeah.
Do a video, Al.
Yeah, Al, do a video. This, I don't know about this YouTube thing, if it's ever going to catch on, but try it. I mean, you never know.
It's like the digital electronics. I don't think it's going to fly.
Nah. I mean, we all like old crank handles,
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Well, look at the new phones that Tesla's making for $150. Huh?
Yeah.
They are.
See, I said it was. I told you somebody said 1,000 the last time. I said no. I think it's 100. I think it's 100 bucks. I'm
150.
buying one.
Yep.
I'm
250
calling my buddy
Canadian.
Elon, and I'm going to say, Elon, ship me one today.
You're
I'm
crazy.
gonna buy one, even though I still have my AT&T, but I'm gonna buy one because it's gonna be hooked up to the satellite link. You
Yeah.
know,
Link. Yeah.
it'll be two different
Starlink. Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah.
So
That's
here's
sad.
the.
I don't think that Mr. Elon Musk is giving stuff away for free, Hank. That you might have to pay
You
something.
might have to sign a 10-year contract.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll sign
For
a
the network.
contract if it works good.
And what do you do if it runs out of batteries?
You
No,
get solar charges, Klaus.
He buys them back. He buys them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
there's
the
a
only
trick there
cell phone
somewhere.
that has a solar charger built into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. It's the only one made that you could charge from the sun.
Right.
Put it on the dash so somebody can steal it.
So the big issue we got going around here is when somebody needs some parts, and I say, okay, send, what do you need parts for? Oh, this is the model number. So I say, okay, what parts you need? I need carb rebuild kit. So I say, okay, now you got to send me the engine model number. And they say, what? And I said, well, it's part of the engine, and the sticker that you're giving me the model number from will give me all the parts for the machine, but not for the engine. So I need the carb parts, right? So then finally the guy finds the number.
I hate finding them.
Yeah. I Google it, right? And I find the parts diagram. First thing it says, it's got, and I told the guy, I says, it's a Poulan Pro snowblower. And I said, I'll bet you it's got an LCT carburetor in it. And the guy said, yeah. And I said, guaranteed it's LCT. So anyways, the guy comes up with a number, and I check it, and it says carburetor no longer available. So yeah. So then he says, this thing is like brand new. He says it doesn't have a scratch on it, but gas is leaking from the carburetor like crazy. I said, bring the carburetor over.
Schmoo.
So he brings over the carburetor. I said, yeah, it's an LCT. I got a box of rebuild parts in the back. I checked and I looked and I said, yep, this it. It's $80 for this carb kit on Amazon. I said, $70 cash, it's yours. So we took it apart and checked everything. It's an identical fit, but now at least he gets a new bowl too, because the bowl was shot. But it's a complete kit. It's got all the gaskets. It's got the bolts. It's got everything. It's got the needle valve, the float. It's a complete kit, right? And I said, it's $70. He says, oh, I got to call the customer and see if she wants to spend the money. And I said, is the snowblower worth $150? He said, oh, all day. I said, well, then fix it. And if her bill's $150 or $160 and she doesn't want to pay you, you get to keep the snowblower and sell it for $300.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know when they're getting deals.
Well, you know what? Even when they're getting a deal, they want a deal.
Yeah.
Like I run into this in Mexico. Like, people are on holidays and they're spending thousands of dollars and they're having a good, and then they go to buy a widget from one of the locals on the beach or in town or whatever. And they're trying to get the guy down to, I don't know, 82 pesos or something, which is like $4. and come on. You're leaving tomorrow, buy the damn thing, get it for your kid, and get out of there.
Yeah.
I guess it's the game, eh? It's a game.
Yeah.
Well, I think what the consumers have to look at nowadays when they're going to buy something, number one, I think I'd be buying at a dealership. Number one. I don't know if I'd buy something from a big box store that doesn't carry the parts that you could fix it yourself. There's enough videos on YouTube that anybody could fix anything on their own. All they got to do is pull up the video.
I disagree.
But if you can't get the parts, then what you just bought is useless. Like it's worth scrap. That's what it's worth. So now when you buy it from the dealership, the first question you ask the dealership, if I need parts, cables for the control or the drive cable, are they readily accessible? Like, can you get them? And like ask a few questions, and you're going to find out that, yeah, they can get the parts unless they give you the old, well, yeah, but this part's on back order. And that means that part is likely breaking on a regular basis, and there's so many on order that they can't get them.
Yep.
It's just like, what it? People look on Amazon, they want to buy an Echo blower. Yeah, you buy them from a place that don't register your equipment for you. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no warranty.
But
I
think you're wrong on one thing. The average person doesn't even know enough about small engine equipment to
correct.
know that it's a different service level if they buy it from Amazon.ca or the Jim's Steel dealership, right?
Because they even sell. I think they even sell Shenandoah equipment on Amazon. I'm like, nope. I'd rather go to a dealer and they fill out the paperwork. I remember the first time I bought a piece of steel equipment. They registered it for me, and one day I got a thank you letter from Steel for buying that piece of equipment. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's amazing though, sometimes OEM parts aren't that much more expensive lately. I don't know.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have to compete, right?
Yeah.
Now, Abel's got a good point.
Up and the other one's competing down.
Abel Locke's got a good point. He says he's a business and he's got people that bring parts from the internet and want him to fix them. If they do that here, they can take their machine and get somebody else to fix it. We're not doing it.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Oh.
That's exactly right.
And when they ask why, I say, okay, so you brought me this carburetor. If I put it on and it doesn't run, what do you want me to do? Because you're paying me to put the carb on. Now you're paying me to take it off. You're paying me for a new carb.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you're getting billed the whole thing. So the $150 bill could turn into a $250 bill.
Exactly.
I tell people the same thing. If they bring stuff, I'll put it on, but if it doesn't fit, what's going to happen is I'll take it back off, assemble the machine, put it aside, start working on something else that I can fix now. And then I will call you and say it didn't work. And then we'll have to go through the whole thing again, paid by the hour.
Yep.
So I'm all for people saving a buck. That's not it. But if I buy it, I usually get the right part the first time, usually. And it's faster, it's easier, and I make money off the part.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's how it is. I'll put people's stuff on. I mean, I put carburetors on and call them up and say, yeah, it's on, it doesn't work. What do you want me to do? Oh, so you have to take it off again? I don't have to do anything. You can come get it now and we'll settle the bill. I mean, you decide. I mean, it just the carburetor you brought doesn't work.
Yeah, I just had a guy call for a Honda carb kit for a 16-horse twin cylinder, and I said I can't get you the carb kit. You'll have to get a hold of the Honda dealership. Likely, it's going to be 88 plus tax to 100 plus tax. Likely for the rebuild kit because it comes with all the jets and everything. I said I can get you a carburetor from Sten's. I guarantee I haven't had any issue with the Sten's carburetors. I can sell it to you for $90 cash. So right now he's checking on what the part is, and I'm saying, think about it. You're going to spend all that time putting all this together. If you get that carb kit, you're going to be spending more. But they said they only got one in stock. So if he calls me back and it's gone, I say, sorry, back ordered now. Yeah.
And there's like if all hell breaks loose, you've still got the old carburetor to tinker with.
Yeah.
Yeah, KB, we feel bad because he passed. He was only 35 years old, but nobody told us what he passed from, But,
who's that? KB Small Engines?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I knew he stopped doing videos.
Yeah.
I just pop over there.
I did like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Condolences to the family if they're out there watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we lost
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to more funerals than I am weddings right now.
Yeah, well, that's normal when we get up to our age, Bruce. And you're
Yeah.
younger than me, so if you want to come to mine, I don't know when it's going to be, but sooner or later, I'm going.
Me too. Hey,
Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah.
What's that saying? Nobody gets
We
out
all-
of this. Nobody
we
gets out
all-
of this alive.
Creation date.
And the strange thing is, they say once a man turns 70, his life insurance policy don't pay out as much. I'm like, what the?
You don't need any
Like-
when you're 70.
Now,
Now, I was watching Tom Dolby walk around that Louis, Kentucky, right? That small engine show
Yeah.
that's going on. And I see a lot of EFI stuff coming out now.
Yeah.
Hey, better fuel mileage, better operation, and I'm saying
It's emissions.
better check out what the cost of all those modules are that you might have to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that ugly Honda push mower that they have?
No, I didn't watch
Oh,
that.
that thing's ugly.
Was that an electric one?
Yeah.
The new battery one they're supposed to be putting out?
Ugliest thing you ever
yeah.
saw.
Yeah, but maybe
Yeah.
ugly works good.
Yeah. We probably thought the new style that we just take for granted with the lawnmower deck, they probably thought that was ugly when they had the early ones.
You know, Terrell said it right. Build a lawnmower that cuts grass only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
But it's
Can you
weird.
bring it up?
It's
Hey,
weird.
don't put it down, Ken. I'm coming back.
They got plastic
that's good.
wheels.
Hey, it looks like RoboCop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it does look like.
It's a regular HIX frame.
It
With
is.
just yeah.
But it looks like the wheels are plastic.
Yep.
But
I
they
wonder
are
if the body
plastic.
is
They're
a
also
PX
plastic
or
on the
is the
HI.
body a, sorry, Klaus. Is
Yeah.
the body a PX or is it metal?
It's plastic on the
Yeah.
X, on the HIX. That one is metal.
Yeah.
The HIN, that's metal, but the HIX is plastic.
Okay. Same
Wayne,
as the
did you notice the wheels on the big zero turns? You could see through the wheels because
Yeah.
they're like rubber. I don't know. There's no air in them and no.
Yeah.
They got little rollers on them.
Now
Yeah.
the problems with those, from what I've heard, Hank, from people around here, they got them wheels. They won't go up slope.
Yeah, they got to
Those
be
slip.
separate. Yeah,
Right.
and the fact that if you leave it sitting for too long, you got a flat
They
spot.
still got the dual blade. You think that would be too much for the motor to pull?
It's a 1.5 kilowatt motor. It's got power.
Yeah, 1.5, 2.0, they said.
It's got power.
So the more power you have, the less it lasts. Because what do you do for a yard like mine?
Yep.
It's a big yard.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Henry.
Hank's yard too. He's got a big yard.
Yeah,
Yeah, Henry, I like your new shed, 170 square feet. That's nice. At least you got somewhere where the wind can't blow it over. Because I've seen people buy them and leave them out in the open. All of a sudden, a gust of wind comes along. Like, oh, where's the storage tent at? Oh, it's across the street. Like, yeah.
no, that's that double wall. So I don't see it because it's such an ugly color. That way I don't see it, but yet it's a windbreak for the shed itself. Yeah.
Yeah. People have sent me links to them on Amazon and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's something you better put walls around it, because if you don't, that guy, redneck computer geek, he's got them. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
and
and they're all caved in the winter.
yeah, all that snow and stuff. Like, you
Yeah.
got. I'm sorry, but you build that, you put walls around it, then you got to figure out how to support more of that ceiling. Because, like I said, depending on the snow, because you got white and fluffy, then you got the heart attack snow. It's got so much ice in it. It's like, yeah. No, I watched Tom Adobe video at DLT. He was on some mower, Bad Boys, and they had a Kawasaki EFI. He was like, why don't they put a 40 horse on there? I'm like, yeah, 40 horsepower.
Did you see how big that thing was? I mean, it's beefy. It's heavy duty. Holy smokes!
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like was it that mower the X Mark makes that cuts 12 foot at one time if
Yeah.
you want with a
You know
diesel
what,
engine.
Dan? I think just using the snowblower fairly often is probably the best thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't
having proper
yeah.
belts.
And
Because
then
I
he
don't,
got
like I've seen belts being used that people are getting from Princess Auto that are industrial belts for running like a fan that aren't supposed to go on snowblowers. And then the guy calls me up and said, "Hey," or riding lawnmowers. The guy said, "Hey, why am I burning out so many belts in my riding mower?" And I said, "How many have you burnt out?" 3. I said, "Where you been buying them from?" He said, "Princess Auto." I said, "Come and get one of my belts." I says,
Right.
"It won't burn out."
For most, I just went in one day and I bought Princess Auto belts, one of each size, right up to about 40. And all I do is use them for testing, right? If it makes things go round and round and there's no sounds coming out of the chassis and stuff, then I'll go get and I just hang it back up, put the identifier
Yeah,
back.
good
Then
point.
I'll
Good
go and
idea.
buy the 38.2 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It works good.
Oh yeah, that guy I fought small engine rescue. He had a Cub Cadet in, and the belt routing on that mower pan. I'm like, what the? He said he's gonna put a Kevlar belt on it because the belt that was on there, that thing had so many cracks. But I'm like, the routing of it, I'm like, you got to be joking.
Well, the only thing you'll find with a Kevlar belt is when after you use it, you open up the hood, you take that cover off the belt cover off. You're going to see all that fiber because it might not call for a covered belt. The Kevlars are all covered.
Yeah, you'll find strips of Kevlar.
Yeah, it should. It may require a raw edge belt. Like there's a lot of difference between, it depends on what the machine needs. A Kevlar belt will work, but you're going to get all that blue crap on the inside of the machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one more thing on the belts, I got to add, sorry guys, if it's a John Deere or something specific, even more Cub Cadet now, you can't cheat with a Princess Auto belt even for a half an hour. You got to have the exact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it calls for a 36.2, it should be a 36.2 belt, not a 36 3/8.
That's right.
Exactly.
And you got to dig in the specs to find the exact size.
If I work on John Deere's or MTDs, it's OEM belts only.
Right.
Because they have these strange sizes, and it may work, but then when you lower your deck all the way down, it pops off.
Yeah. That's why I just use the cheap belts to test to make sure the bearings and everything don't sound bad, and then I'll go get them.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't spend the money unless I know.
Yeah. But on all the Husqvarna products and AYPs, I use aftermarket Kevlar belts. They work fine.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the belts are cheap, because they're made cheap.
Cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have all the internal stranding in them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like tire.
Now, I put a belt on my 33-inch high vac when I lived in Griffin one day, and somebody said, "Are you burning something?" I looked over there. I'm like, "Oh snap! That thing was smoking." I'm like, "Yeah." That.
We all learned that the hard way.
Yeah, that's it. And what it tells in that video, he had a Craftsman GT like mine, and he said instead of using a 5/8, a half-inch, go to a 5/8. So I forgot because my mower pan is double belted. I forgot which belt it was, but I'm like, I don't think so. But I got Kevlar on it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kevlar won't save you anything other than it'll last longer.
Yeah.
Under the same conditions.
Sten says they last 10 times longer, but they don't last 10 times longer if you get a stick jammed in there that goes against the belt.
Or a pine cone.
Or if
you're loose.
Or if you load the mower and jam up grass in there and it seizes up the blade, or if the pulleys are gone, or if the bearings are gone in the spindle, nothing lasts.
I just replaced the belt on one of those front-mounted rear steer mowers that Husqvarna makes for us over here. And the guy said, "Yeah, we were cutting some grass that was a little long, and now the belt keeps coming off." When I go through the belt and I can feel there's a section, this what just goes.
Yeah.
You know, dumbass. He's been mowing hay. You know.
Yeah. We've had them come in close, seized up, where the guy says, like, nothing's happening. And when we've lifted it up, we found gigantic balls of grass jammed against the deck and the blade. They were cutting such long grass, it just couldn't shoot it out. So it jammed everything up and smoked the belt.
Yeah.
And just
This
like
guy, I'm sorry, Bruce. Sorry, Bruce.
Right.
This guy has an all-wheel drive model, which is fairly expensive. It drives on all four wheels, and it comes in. I check the dipstick. There is this much oil at the tip of the dipstick.
Right.
Half the oil in that Brix engine is missing. I told him last year, if you want to keep this nice, very expensive mower, check your oil. Oh yeah, I'll do that. He hasn't checked it since last year. Trust me. It's some people are just
no, they don't think about that. It's I cut the lawn with it. That's all they have to worry about.
That's it.
Well, I think this guy cuts hay with it.
Whatever.
Some people, the same thing with their cars and their houses.
Yeah. I know.
And
they're driving a $50,000 car.
Yeah.
Well, we had another snowblower just come in that the recoil was seized. And when Jake went to pick it up, first thing he did was look at the oil, and there was no oil on the dipstick. And the guy said, well, I bought this off you. Like Jake says, what? How long ago? I don't know. It was quite a while ago. Jake says, well, you got to check your oil. There's no oil in it. So maybe the engine seized up. So Jake had to run out, work on his transmission. So he said, take a look at it. So I took the recoil off, and the recoil's fine. I lubed it while it was off. Then I took the 3/4 socket and I put it on the ratchet, and I tried to turn it back and forth and just locked up, So I took the plug out and loaded it up with PB Blaster and let it sit for an hour. Went back and, oh, look at this. It's moving back a little bit. And then forward. Oh, it's moving back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, just nice and easy. Take my time. All of a sudden, rotate it over. She's freed up. So I said, okay, I'm going to spray some more PB in it, and I'm going to do a compression test just to make sure this thing's got compression and the rings are loosened up. Put the compression tester on, put the drill to the thing, 155 PSI. I says, this thing's going to run. And it's an old machine, I mean, it's really old. So I loaded her up with oil, and yep, she run like a clock.
The main bearings might not last as long as they should.
He's got it right on the bill. Thing was seized. There are no guarantees with this repair, but the thing at least runs.
Pretty lucky,
How long it's going to run, I don't know.
Good luck trying that with a Predator engine, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It would be interesting to see. Like, I think you could use 50-1 in a 4-stroke engine. 50-1 fuel mix in a 4-stroke engine. Not foul them up, and it would be interesting to see how long they'd last without any oil.
But you won't. That won't do, because the oil. No, because remember, when fuel comes in, it's when the piston is on its way up.
Right.
So you may lubricate this much of the top of the cylinder.
Right.
The rest doesn't get anything.
I understand that.
It's
anything below halfway.
Don't try it. Don't try it.
Yeah, don't. It's not gonna.
But I use 50-1 to test all my stuff. Like if I'm doing a prime and I don't have a squirter, I squirt right into the whatever.
I had a guy, I swear, I kid you not.
It works good.
He's been running his lawnmower a full season on premix steel motor mix. 2%, 50-1,
okay.
50-1.
50-1, right?
But, yeah. There wasn't even carbon deposits on the plug.
No, won't have any.
It's the same as a as a 2-stroke chainsaw. There shouldn't be.
It'll be clean as could be, close with as long as you're using alkylate fluid. It'll never get any carbon buildup.
No, it's amazing.
That's what I was saying. Like, it would be interesting. Let's say you have your oils at full, and you use 50-1. It would be interesting to see.
I mean, depending on the fuel and the oil and all that. If it's regular fuel and regular 2-stroke mix oil, you'll get some carbon deposits on your plug, and it'll smoke a bit. And you also get more carbon deposits on your valves.
And maybe on the plug.
Oh, yeah.
On the plug, the plug definitely, yeah. but it's not going to hurt anything. I do the same thing, Bruce. I use 50-to-1 mix as testing fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it in a squirt. You guys know I have it in a squirt can. I'm pretty liberal with it.
Yeah, because you're lubricating it a little bit.
Just
not
enough to make it
fire it up.
Yeah, it brings up the compression and.
Yeah, it's actually better than using carb spray because you got no lubrication when you're
carb spray is so dry, dry. Carb spray works too. I mean, for how many cycles you get, it's not that big in the big picture.
But I mean, if you have a 4-stroke engine that you have rotated once or twice, that cylinder wall is already lubricated. If there's oil in the sump,
right.
It's already lubricated, and I don't think it makes a difference
dipper,
whether you use carb spray or 2-stroke mix. I really don't.
It's just a dipper, though.
Yeah,
I know.
Haney's asking if that was a Briggs flathead. It was I think that one was a Tecumseh. You can't blow them up. Like, honest to God, I don't know how many old Briggs and old Tecumseh engines I've had come in here that we've soaked up with either ATF or just shot PB blaster and we got them freed up. And they ran great.
Yes.
Now, they've never
not broken
back.
before you get them.
What's that?
If they're not broken before you get it, like the
if the Conrod
Tecumseh rods weren't that good.
Yeah.
The 8 horsepower Tecumseh rod with a rod and piston are very, very good.
Yeah. Well, I use this. I use this. Yep. And the thing is, I've had people talk about, they mix up the 100-to-1 and run in a 2-stroke. I'm like,
yeah, they do. I haven't had anything like that come in. But
now I know a guy. He used the Ames oil in his truck, and they had to pull the stuff off. It had dyed certain parts of the engine. I'm like, it was a kind of brownish looking color and stuff. And people like, the Ames oil in your automobile. Yeah.
Well, Jake just ran the Ames oil in his truck where he had 1 quart and 5,000 clicks usage. Like he would burn a quart in 5,000 kilometers. And his Ames oil, he just checked and he said he's hardly burnt anything. And I think he's got 46 or 4,700 clicks on it. So he's due shortly for an oil change. And he says the Ames oil was fantastic. Now he's going to next one is a Pennzoil Platinum.
Yeah.
Synthetic.
Yeah, full synthetic.
Yeah.
The bad thing was I had a new engine put on my 33-inch high vac. And I decided to use the Briggs & Stratton synthetic for the 10W30. Some Briggs & Stratton engines, they just don't like 10W30. They'll burn that mess off in a minute. You put regular 30 weight in there, it don't burn off, but that 10W30, they just burn that stuff off.
That's why they got a dipstick.
Yeah.
No, but you Robert, you should try 5W30 full synthetic, and you'll see it won't burn as much.
Yeah, it's
possible.
Right.
Because I put
if your 10W30 is full synthetic as well, it won't burn that more than it'll do regular 30 either.
Yeah, but now I got Kohler 10W20 or 10W30 full synthetic in the engine on my GT, but the engine on this YS, nope. And that's another thing. I always check the oil because that Briggs & Stratton engine on my 28-inch high vac, that extra tough one. I knew I should have checked the oil, and I'm like, great. Then I had a pole twin. I didn't check the oil on it either. I'm like, Matty. I'm like, check the oil, people. Check the oil. I said, I like the Sabre, this Ames oil. But
Well, in the old guys, I still use 1030 regular, but I am using synthetic in the new stuff.
But
thanks, Klaus.
now it's a blend of synthetic and conventional.
That almost makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're blending it now. Like you really, unless you get a break-in oil, you can't find one that's just a regular 1030. You read the label, it says synthetic or blend. It says blended oil.
So I was
Yeah.
saying, plus, that I'm using 1030 in the old stuff and synthetic in the new stuff.
Yeah, was it?
But it's
No, but I mean,
I change my oil often enough, like
it wouldn't
even
matter.
vehicles, they'll last 300,000 kilometers without any
Yeah.
issue. Right?
I mean, the biggest difference is that the full synthetic oil would better withstand the stresses of being engine oil in a small engine, air cooled, than regular oil. But if you change your oil in time, depending on the machine,
Yeah.
it's not going to make much of a difference.
Well, I just do them all in October.
Yeah.
Close. This one for you. Oil has a shear strength, right? There's something they call shearing of oil, right?
HTHS value.
Yes. And full synthetics don't shear as fast as your conventionals.
But
They don't break down.
That's actually not right. It withstands
Yes.
the forces
Right.
better.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So something that spooks me a little bit is my wife's car, because I've experimented with synthetic and with the standard 520.
Yeah.
It uses oil when I have synthetic in it, and it doesn't use oil when I use the standard regular. It's probably just that the standard regular is a little stiffer. I don't know.
Same viscosity?
Yep, 520.
Because it's API rated oil, which I believe you use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's tested to having the same viscosity at 2 different degrees, minus something and plus 100 degrees C.
Well, that would be us, right?
yeah. But I mean, the oil has the same thickness,
right?
So that's not, it should not make a difference. It really shouldn't.
So you can sure tell though when you change an oil whether it's synthetic or whether it's standard, right? Because the synthetic stuff's out of there in like right now, and the standard oil takes a little time, like it always does.
Yeah, I mean, when I service,
you're slowly converting me, Klaus. I'm sorry. It's taken 10 years.
My standard oil in the shop is a 10W30 part synthetic because that's the most cost efficient oil to use. But every time I get, say, an EX engine in, Briggs EX, those little things, they run hot.
Yeah.
I always use a 530 full synthetic on them, always. So I don't even ask the customer, I just put that in.
Right. Well, they don't know.
They don't know, but the thing is, I've had on more than one occasion people come and say, what did you do to my mower last time? It doesn't use any oil anymore. I said, I don't know. Maybe you're just
Briggs came out with that statement that those no change oils, the EXs, the reason you don't have to change the oil is they burn an ounce per month. So imagine that. They're actually telling you that engine is burning an ounce per month, and all you have to do is add. You don't have to change it because eventually you will have changed it by keep adding. Now that's
got a couple of machines around here that change their own oil.
They don't sell those anymore, do they?
Here in Canada, we're still getting the EX and the EXIs.
But the EX where you're not.
It has the label.
With the label with no oil, I don't know. I haven't seen a new one.
Because the EPA has been tearing Briggs a new one for this, because it's air pollutant, and you're not supposed to have any more emissions than.
Yeah. And the jetting on them was so tight that anything would plug that engine up. Like we did so many carb cleans on the EX engines
early on.
Crazy. Like anything that got in there would plug that up and it wouldn't run right.
What is $2 stroke oil?
$2 two-stroke oil.
Is that one of William's questions again?
Oh, no, likely the general. What's that in the States? You guys got the Dollar General? Likely two-stroke oil they sell at the dollar store. I wouldn't use that stuff.
Nah.
I've heard that the best two-stroke oil on the market is Echo's two-stroke. That's what I've heard. But we quit doing two-stroke stuff.
Yeah. I've been buying
I use
Steels.
Yeah, I buy Steels Ultra HP. It's green.
And it's made by Castrol.
In some parts of the world,
yes. That's the label.
In some parts of the world, it is. In other parts of the world, it isn't. It's made to a recipe, so it doesn't matter.
Grandma's chocolate cake.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had a guy tell me that he fired up his snowblower after sitting for a year, and he says to me, "You know what? That BGSC2 fuel stabilizer you sold me, I've never had my snowblower start up like that ever." Right? And I said to him, "Whoa, it's not the stabilizer that did the job." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Were you buying 91 octane like I told you?" He said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, last year you likely got ethanol-free gas. That's why it fired up after a year." Now, if you keep it like that till next year with the fuel in it, I don't care if you put that BGSC2 in, I can't guarantee you that it's going to start because the ethanol is going to create problems.
Yeah. I will
We're
say,
still getting 91, no ethanol out here. But
Don't-
Alberta here is the Texas of Canada, right?
Yeah.
What's Dolmar?
Dolmar. That's the old Sachs Dolmar that became Makita, that became Solo, that be something. It's a brand name.
It's all Makita now, right? All red Makita.
Yeah. But they sell oil too?
Probably. They usually have something they stick their
Sachs
label on.
Largest bicycle manufacturer in the world, Fictal Sachs.
Have you guys heard about the new 6-stroke engine that Porsche developed?
Just heard about it. I have no
Yeah,
Six-stroker. Yeah, Jake texted me, check it out. He said they got a 6-stroke now.
It takes a little while for your head to get around it. But
Yes, it does.
But you know, like even my wife's car is a variable valve timing, and it's the 1.6 world liter engine, right? It's the one, that thing's been everything.
Yeah.
Variable valve, which is probably closer to a 6-stroke than what you might think.
Yeah.
What was that? Somebody made that. What was it? That rotary engine for vehicles.
Mazda.
Yeah.
RX-7.
Wankel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Three,
but
They actually have an
8-stroke.
8-stroke.
Really?
yeah.
It contains most of the heat. That's where it gets its efficiency from.
Oh, and that's another thing it's hard to find anymore. Back in the day, they used to sell what they call lead substitute for older vehicles that ran lead in the gas. It's getting hard to find that stuff.
No, but I use the steel oil because I also use the steel motor mix. And some people, that buy the cheaper equipment that wants 40-to-1 mix.
Yeah.
I just opened up the can, put in. There you go. Here's 40-to-1.
Yeah.
Go home, have fun.
Do you use the silver or the red or orange?
Over here they have different colors, Hank, but it's the green one. It's top of the line. It's the full synthetic one.
Okay.
I don't know which one is top of the line with in the US.
Well, we have the silver and the orange. Top of the line would be the silver one. So
here's HP Ultra.
Okay.
Well, ding dong dang.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed with the presence of John Clem from
We won't call you late, but we'll call you late for dinner.
I wouldn't call it blessed.
Yeah, it's blessed.
A few other words that
Nice to see you, John.
Good to see y'all too. How you been?
Good.
Fantastic.
Good.
Awesome.
Above ground, baby.
Yeah, above ground.
Always clutch.
Good one, Bruce.
Yeah.
Had a rough summer. I'm good though.
Oh yeah.
You know what you need, Bruce, do you know what you need after such a rough summer? You need a good long vacation somewhere warm.
Mexico.
Not far off.
In a nice condo.
Yes.
With elevators
exactly.
and umbrellas.
Yes. Cold beers and lots
and a
of
restaurant on site.
Yes, and lots of pool time, yeah.
And Hispanic lawnmowers to work on.
Exactly.
Yeah, they know me now. They go running. They
That
run
was
when they see me.
right.
You don't have an air filter on this lawnmower. It runs good.
Yeah. See, senor, no problem.
Yeah.
Senor Bruce.
Tar Heel, 4:00. The Zone got the big PFL fights on.
I got to ask you guys.
4 o'clock.
I haven't seen anything about William I from South or North Carolina since the big storm. Have you guys had anything to do with William
That's
I?
him. That's him.
He's here. Tar Heels.
Is he?
That's
Sorry.
him.
Oh, he changed his name. That explains everything. All right.
Which week is it?
Yeah.
I see you, Thomas.
Looks like Robert, so he's holding myself hostage. That's great. We all do that.
Haney.
Haney Okie.
Oh, that's Hank that gets into the chips. Where's your chips, Hank? Gotta have Pringles or something
he's
over
got-
there. Yeah.
I
there's
thought
Hank.
you were.
Yeah,
I thought you were going all
Doritos.
vegan on us.
It's the Doritos.
I thought you'd gone all vegan on us with all those grapes you had before, you know?
Oh yeah, I got to eat those grapes because I buy a whole package of them.
Yeah.
Got to eat stuff.
They can have a negative effect on the air quality around your person if you have too many.
Don't worry about
Don't worry about it, huh?
it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about
If this had smell-o-vision, you'd be
it.
worried.
Hank says that the best. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Wayne.
What are you working on there, John? Right now,
Well,
you're
I have
not working.
let's see, had a pressure washer yesterday. I have a generator to do tomorrow. And I finished up on a 0 turn today. That's why I was late getting here.
You're busy.
And that's about it. And it was cold in the shop this morning. I had to break out the
Oh no!
turbo flamethrower heater thing, whatever
No
it is.
way! No way!
Makes
They
so
were-
much noise.
No
Can't hear
way!
nothing.
Did it drop below 70?
Oh, it was actually like, I think 48 when I went out there.
Wow, that's
That's
yeah,
about 12.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cold, buddy.
Yeah, down here
Actually, my
it is.
garage was at 12 yesterday.
I had to wear
That was
2
even-
short sleeve shirts instead of 1.
No doubt.
And it looks like you're in the orifice right now, John.
Yeah,
I call it the orifice.
came out of the
not
shop.
office.
Yeah,
The hole.
this is my computer room next to the kitchen area.
It's the only 2 places John are allowed is there and in the shop.
Yeah.
Shop, that's right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Exactly.
Jason, over here. I'll give you the link.
Unless my wife's bringing in the groceries, you got to help.
You got the link.
Yep.
Come on up, Jake.
On Doug.
Yeah, Doug is here.
John, you talked to Stella? Is she around?
No, she's kind of ignoring me. I was dogging her out a couple of days ago on WhatsApp, and I hadn't heard a word back yet. So,
Not good.
Yeah, in the doghouse.
well, I made
In
fun
the
of her.
doghouse now.
I made fun of her political preference.
Oh,
She probably didn't like that.
That's always a good conversation
Oh yeah.
topic these days. It's gonna be
Hey Jason.
it's like watching a big football game.
Yeah. Hi, Jason.
What are you up to, Jay?
Working on the garage.
All right.
So
Right on. I told you to get in there.
we've been doing we did a small little renovation in the house, which has to do with the John Deere tractor that I fixed, thanks to you guys. And then it transpired into the garage. So, being seasoned homeowners, we did set a budget, but we also knew that there was room for it to go over budget. So we're definitely over budget and over time, but it should be done this weekend, or
That's
for the
called
most
renovating.
part done this weekend. So
Did you move, Jason, or did you?
no, we're still here. We're still here. I wish we did move. I wish we did.
I don't know.
But,
Your property values are too high there.
Looks good, Klaus.
Yes, our property values are high.
Mm,
German
Did
German
have
black
the
beer.
opportunity to move a few years ago.
Colombian
And,
coffee.
I got
Almost the
scared
same effect.
or
Almost.
nervous or
Oh, yeah.
chickened out, and I waited an extra day, and they sold the house. And the missus hasn't wanted to move since. And then my
Ooh.
father got sick, so you know.
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Exactly. But yeah, so when we bought our house, the guy Henry and Ken know, our house was 3 kitchens, 3 bathrooms. Every room was rented. So when they sold the house to us, they made it look single family. The entire front of the house and the garage is all on one circuit breaker. And it wasn't an issue to us because the garage only had one outlet, but we weren't really working out of the garage at that time. We didn't know till later on in homeownership that if the compressor is running and someone turns on a light or something, it takes out the front of the house.
At least it's on a breaker.
Yeah. So to make
Or
a
fuse.
long story short, the air conditioner on the first floor developed mold. So it was like, okay, let's get a new air conditioner. Nope. The new 10 years later, the new air conditioners, they're a lot smaller and efficient. The vendors that sell air conditioners won't touch our house because the gap is too big. We need to have someone in construction, come and reframe, and they'll come in and put in the sleeve. So no, we're not doing that. So we want to do something different, like a mini split. So we need to upgrade our electrical. So we upgraded our service to 200 amp, and then we rewired the front of the house, including the garage.
Yay!
So now I'm still learning because for 10
got a
years
sub-panel?
I've been like, I'm using the compressor. Nobody do anything. Like, hey, everybody okay? Everybody's good? All right. So I'm learning how to live under new fresh of breath air. But yeah. So how the John Deere ties into it is, as you guys know, I'm very grateful for what you guys did. Is absolutely amazing. And I'm also a firm believer that I should never charge a customer for something like, I don't know, like I spent hours on that tractor. The customer should never be billed for that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
I
learning.
10 hours. I spend 10 hours on that tractor. You owe me $1,000. Meanwhile, if one of you guys looked at it, it would have been done in a half hour. Yeah. So I basically told the guy, hey, listen, no charge on the tractor. I told him the issues that I had, and I said I had a great group of guys. I had a great time with them. That experience is priceless to me, so take the tractor. No charge.
And it's still good?
Yeah, it's still good. And I also felt like I'm not married to it. Like if he has an issue, I'm free and clear. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not an orphan.
Yeah. So to make a long story short, he is a licensed electrician.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. So when I told him we were going to do electrical work on the house, he was like, when the time comes, I'll help you out. And he did. He really pulled through. But like I said, I'm a little bit nervous in the sense that I hope his tractor doesn't have issues.
Yeah, still, it's still a good deal for you, even if the tractor comes back with an issue or two.
Yeah, so I didn't know he was a licensed electrician before it happened. So to circle back is, he did a job for somebody and the person gave him the tractor. He gave the tractor to his really good friend who needs it. Yeah. They called me to fix it, and I said, sorry, I'm not interested in repairing your tractor. Have a nice day. He took it to the John Deere dealer. John Deere dealer says, tractor's not worth fixing. They're going to sell you a new one. So he comes back to the house and rings the doorbell. Boop, boop, boop. No one's home, but Christina answers it. So he gets the sucker, the missus. So the missus is like, yeah, my husband will take care of it. So I had no choice but to fix it. But it worked out. It worked out in the end. He did the 200 service amp upgrade, which was the one I was most scared about, because there's no breaker between the house and the power. You have to cut power to your house.
Right.
So that's the sketchy part. So he came.
Yeah, you have to have the power company come out and attach.
All right, so here's
No, that's on the meter. So it depends on.
all right,
okay.
so with
Yeah, I
So
mean,
with
the
us-
utility company will do it. See, with mine, I had the 200 amp service put in, Jay, but they had to change the wire from the pole as well
To the
going
house.
to the
Right.
house. So,
Okay,
but then your
so-
electrician, all he does is take the meter out, turn it upside down, and does what he has to do.
so where we live, they kind of like gatekeep doing a 200 amp service and doing work like this. You need to get a permit and you need to
Oh,
get a
yeah,
certificate.
Right.
None of the inspection companies wanted to talk to me once they found out I was doing it on my own.
Mm.
So that means I could never do this upgrade without them knowing.
Right.
So they
Buddy.
can only turn off
Yeah,
the
but
power.
what do you mean
Monday
inspection
through-
company? I thought the city comes out.
No, for us, they have 5 or 6
Private?
companies that will come out and do the inspection, issue you a certificate.
Hmm.
Once you get that certificate, you contact PSEG. They'll come out and say, okay, we need to change the wire or not. But we cut power to the house and we started working on it. And we just have to wait a little bit because some of these companies wrote down our address and stuff. And I know they won't inspect our house because we didn't have an electrician do it. So we got to wait. But everything is done to code and the right way. And we have room to grow. So
Did you put a sub box in your garage, sub panel?
Yes. Hold on. It's right here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yep.
So-
What do you got? 60 amp sub panel or 100?
More than one breaker.
So
60 amp.
we have, these are extras, so we have room to grow. You can see I wired my compressor to 220. It was 110. I converted it to 220. So this is my compressor. And then I just have everything divvied up. So I had my garage laid out in my mind in one way. And then the missus, she has a more creative vision, a little bit more organized. So she has a different idea. So I'm in the process of just.
So now you can run a welder in there too.
Yeah, so I could always run my welder. My welder was 110, but now I can
Oh.
run my welder without killing the house.
A real welder.
You
A
better
real
put a
welder,
plate-
buddy.
you
A
better
real
put a
welder.
Better
Well,
put
I'm just thinking here. Wayne, do you have the same Mickey Mouse power they do? 110?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason,
So-
you better put a plate on those outlets.
Oh yeah. So I'm waiting.
Won't pass
for-
inspection without them, Hank.
Oh no. I ordered special plates. They're coming in.
Okay.
But yeah, so I put.
Those are
Down
20
here?
amp. Those are 20 amp.
Yeah, these are all
115
20 amp. Okay.
Wow. 20 amp.
Now in
Don't
here,
forget, Klaus,
All right, hold on.
he's got
Let me
half the
move
voltage you guys have.
hold on. I'm gonna put you guys down. Let me move this. So over here,
Ooh, baby.
over here is where the original outlets were. So
Okay.
I kept this here, but I added, there was a 4-gang. I added a 5th one because it was already cut out that way. So this is on its own. And this is Wi-Fi. So I could tell it to shut off on and off. My compressor is on a Wi-Fi switch. So when I get off work, I could hit the button. So by the time I come home, it's on or it's charged. Okay. Moving further up, I put my electric reel, my compressor reel, and I got my pressure washer hose on a reel, all mounted. And then if you look further up, I put an outlet there.
Right.
So that's separate. And then,
What? No insulation up there?
no, it's a garage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, don't you work in there in the wintertime?
Oh, I do, but so then I ran another wire. There's another outlet over there.
So you ran the wire and he connected them up. Is that how you did it?
So the electrician did the 200 amp service. I did the wiring in the garage,
That's
and
fair.
I added hot and cold water into the garage as
Oh,
well.
that's nice.
So I
You
am
got it
waiting.
insulated, buddy, because if you lived here, those pipes would crack.
Yeah, so we winterize our pipes. So I'm gonna winterize them. Plus, I sleeved everything. So our garage is attached. So our water main is basically right here. So there was like a feed. So I ran PEX. So I cut the pipe, ran brass to PEX, and then I'm going to sleeve everything. And then, of course, when it gets a little bit colder, I'm just going to drain the system. And so our pressure washer is electric. So I permanently mounted it to the wall.
I like that. I like that setup. That's nice.
Yeah. So for me, you guys know what I work with. So I'm trying to maximize what space I have.
It's beautiful.
So then in this corner, we have the lights on the garage, like the exterior lights, and we have the cameras. So I put those on a separate switch,
I'm getting
and
dizzy.
yeah, that's on a smart switch. So it'll go off. The lights will go on sunrise to sunset. Now, if we go further over here, I wasn't going to put outlets here, but the missus changed the layout, so I added outlets there. Now we'll go upstairs. I didn't know I had this upstairs, so I started ripping apart the garage. I turned this into storage.
Nice.
So I added a subfloor. Okay, I put another outlet up top because we have this gable vent here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do like an exhaust fan or a traditional attic fan that will kick on at certain temperatures or humidity ratings. So that outlet will go there.
I mean,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I never see I only see a house like that without insulation when it's being built. Here, everything gets insulated, just like this behind you. You know,
I agree with Klaus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how, like, things are done like in Canada when it comes to like garages and like workshops. So, like, the building that I work in, and even like my buddy who has an actual like detached garage, there is no insulation. He doesn't even have sheetrock. So when I spec'd out the garage, you see like this wire that has armor sheathing on it.
Right.
They were saying that that's overkill and wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
That's only if your wire is exposed.
Yeah,
Right.
BX.
And I'm like, whoops, so
No, that doesn't hurt.
But
Going
it
over
doesn't hurt.
code is okay.
Mine is done the same way, and then everything is pulled out into boxes to be connected, so there are no hidden connections anywhere.
yeah, so I have everything basically like you could see like that those are hidden in the sheetrock, but those actually have that armored wire on it.
Yeah.
The electrician was like, you didn't need to do that. And I'm like, it's too late.
Jason, if you insulate your ceiling and you leave the attic uninsulated and you insulate your walls, and you've only got basically 2 walls to insulate, right? Because you got an insulated garage door.
Yeah, the garage door
But
is
if you
insulated.
even take like 2-inch styrofoam and lay it in between those rafters, put a vapor barrier on it, put a ceiling up. I'm going to tell you, my garage is a block garage. I framed the inside. I put insulation in it, and I just insulated the roof of the garage, like the ceiling of the garage. I can plug in a 220 volts construction heater and get that garage up to 80 degrees in no time.
So
when it's minus 29 degrees out.
You won't.
And I got a
you
car
won't-
and a half
yeah.
garage.
You won't regret it.
So, yeah. So,
I know what I'm doing.
So before we did all of this, I was looking at getting a heater because, like I said, my buddy who has the exposed garage, he has like a hot dog heater. And he was saying the reason why he didn't go electric is because apparently at 220, your meter is going to start spinning. So
anyway,
Over here, my wife worked out my cost when I was running the electric heater before I put in a gas furnace. It was an extra $100 a month during the winter.
yeah.
But
So-
I was only running it when I was in the shop, and then I would shut it off. But when I went in the next morning, it was like still 60 degrees in the shop.
Okay, Jason, I want you to listen. One more thing. Sorry about that. Old guy. My garage is 26 by 26. It's a good size, 670 square feet. R50 in the ceiling, and R12 plus insulation finishing in the walls with OSB plywood, so you can put a screw into it and hang something.
Yeah.
And our whole house, because I did this with the roof in the house too, we don't burn any more natural gas than a neighbor who doesn't have a garage.
Very nice. Very nice.
I run in my walls and my ceiling in my shop almost 8 inches of rock wool.
That's what I have.
And on in the floor, that's styrofoam. There's almost 10 inches of styrofoam in the floor.
I've got 2
underneath the concrete.
Underneath the concrete, yeah. And then there it's got one of those, what do you call those? That metal mesh thing you put in, and then concrete, yeah. So I have one of those heat pumps which doesn't deliver. It doesn't deliver a very hot air. So if you have an uninsulated shop, you don't want one of those because it can't heat it up. But out here, I can go from 10 degrees to 18 degrees in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it does not keeping it warm. I mean, of course, I can see it on my electric bill, but it's nothing like it's gonna. Wow, you know.
I turn mine down to just above freezing in the wintertime, and then when I go out there, I can just crank it up.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But
we just tore you a new one there, Jason.
No, it's okay. No. I think it's just like a learning experience. I only know what I know from like experiencing, others. Nobody that I know personally that does what I do, or like other mechanics at my job, they either A, don't work, or B, they have detached garages with no insulation, no ceiling, no nothing, and they're basically set up like a mini shop. They have the hot dog heater up top that runs off gas, and it's on like a thermostat, so if it reaches below a certain temperature, it kicks on, and they just never, shut it off.
But
the
hot dog heater, a hot dog heater, it doesn't have an exhaust, does it?
I think so. I think there's exhaust.
Okay.
Because I know when I spoke to like one of them about like, oh, while I'm in here, I could do like gas, and they were saying since you work with gas and like small engines, there's always like a little light in there.
There's a
and
pilot
you don't want boom. So I'm like,
and also they give off a lot of moisture.
So one other thing, don't go and get an old house furnace and put it in your garage and set it up, because the pilot light is only 18 inches from the floor.
Yeah.
If you want something with a pilot light, you have to put it up by the ceiling and then vent it crossways so that if there is any fumes, it doesn't build up to the 8-foot level.
Yeah.
When you're saying you're talking to salamander, right? You're talking salamander heater?
So I don't know. I just know it says like hot dog on the side. It's like a big rectangle or square.
Yeah, it hangs up near the ceiling.
Yeah, and it's on a fan, and it runs off of natural gas, and it kicks on and kicks off. And obviously, you could turn it off completely.
Bruce, you got a good point. I got a wall-mounted furnace, and my pilot light's only, I don't know. It's likely only 6 inches, 4 or 6 inches out, but it's in the back room.
Yeah,
it's in a different area.
If you spill a quart of gas on the floor, those fumes, they'll be this much off the floor.
Yeah.
So the issue that I'm afraid of, and I understand my wife's concern, is sometimes that we'll work on a machine and then we'll wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night and the house smells like gas because a carb is leaking. Yeah. So it's like, whoops.
Mm-hmm.
So we rather not.
If you fix it right, Jason, it won't leak.
Well, I opened myself up for that one.
So don't forget, you guys, I have the dream shop, right? I was on the road with my company for 30 years, and I came home and I put this thing together to make it a dream shop, and it is.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, listen, it's not my dream shop. But you're just gonna have to work with what you have, and then
that's right.
You make a choice and you go to one. I mean, the other house, some of you guys saw that we were looking to buy. That one had a two car garage attached but we were on almost an acre of property and the backyard was a clean slate. And I told my wife, I'm building the biggest shop the town is ever going to let me. That's non-negotiable. With over an acre, you have plenty of front yard to be ooey, ooey, owie, and I'm going to cut my designs. But the backyard just picture looking at another house in
You're
the
young
backyard
yet.
because that's
You're
how
young
big
yet.
it's gonna
You're
be.
young yet.
You're okay unless you got some kind of species of toad that is almost extinct in your backyard. Then they won't let you build anything.
So with us,
Or they hit an Indian reservation.
Spotted
thing.
lizard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So with us,
No, nothing against natives, guys. It
where we
happens.
live,
No.
it's like a original farming community. So there's like regulations in the town, like you could build a building as big as possible with no restrictions as long as it's for farm use. So I was gonna say I'm building for farm use and
Plant a couple of Christmas trees. That's all.
yeah, well, yeah, we were gonna do arborvitaes and I would have to upgrade to a tractor. So yeah, believe me, I would do farm stuff, but no animals. I mean, if I have to dress her up as an animal to say this is what I got,
Moo.
Oh,
Bruce,
it is Halloween. It is Halloween. You know,
Bruce, interesting that you said that because one of the homes close to Lake Erie here was being renovated and they were doing some digging and they came upon some bones.
Mhm.
And that house is still not finished. It's still all fenced off because they got the archaeologists in there. Now, I talked to another home reno guy, and he says if they're doing any digging and they find any bones, they just throw them and don't tell nobody
Right.
yeah.
because
Oh my
it shuts down the whole project for like years.
Oh yeah.
I believe it.
It's harder than Europe because I think you have to have a permit for everything.
In Canada,
I
you
will
gotta
say
have permits for everything.
skeletons sometimes gets relocated on
But I
site.
have a good section of friends that work in all the trades.
What's that?
Oh, I have friends in the trades,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
Yeah.
We build stuff on the weekends.
Yeah, that's exactly what this was. We did it on
Yeah.
the weekend,
Just like the Amish.
and we're lucky nobody called. So we just have to wait to get an inspection.
When I built my shop, there were 12 guys showed up.
That's
We,
nice.
we shingled it the same day we started.
Aren't those good friends? I love those friends. See, but that's where I get like upset, not like with me, is like people come over here and say, but I'm your neighbor. It's like I've been here 10 years. I've never seen you in my life. You know, I'm doing my driveway next week. When do you want to stop by, neighbor, and
Yeah.
offer a helping hand? You know, you want to play the neighbor card? Let's play the neighbor card.
No, but they got this stuff that got homes on homes. They come in and they do that spray installation of the blue and the purple spray foam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
amazing. 60 by 40 is amazing. I wouldn't even.
Yeah.
I'd be
But
working
he's
on more
getting- he's
vehicles
getting
than less
sued.
small engine.
Homes on Homes is being sued because a lot of the homes that got built under his name were falling apart. And not
I'll
built.
buy you guys somewhere. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
They
it's
built,
true.
they built a street full of homes and they weren't built very well.
Yeah, people can't even move into them.
Wait,
They're
that was
unsafe.
like that Homes on Homes guy. He had like a TV
That's what we're talking
show.
about.
Yeah,
He was really
yeah.
popular. He seemed like a really nice guy. I'm surprised that
I think it just got ahead of him. He started growing and
Yeah, the
growing and
fame
growing.
and all that.
Yeah.
because like he talks a lot of
Contractors. And
yeah, he talks a
inspections
lot of bad stuff about contractors
and house
here
inspectors.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
he
here
does
he
their
is.
work, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
committing the same mistakes that he
Yeah, he started letting
That he-
other people do the work.
that he profits off
Exactly.
of others. So he profits off of other people's mistakes
Yeah.
for what it is. And here he is. See, funny how
And we were
life
talking
works.
about a shop with the new guy, right?
Yeah. It'd be like here, Jake hiring somebody to help him out in the shop instead of me. Place would fall apart, right?
Right.
Well, you are Eliminator's performance. I am convinced that every day you wake up and you show Jake like on like a chalkboard, you write down his errands for the day. We're gonna make a video. This is what tool you're gonna use.
No.
How to use it.
There's no
what to say.
videos in planning. He's still working on that. He just blew up the transmission, had it rebuilt, and he's putting the tranny back in on the Mustang today.
I'm teasing.
Oh, did he twist something in the tranny?
He
besides
says the
traction?
universe-
Besides the drive shaft?
Well, no, he says the universe, he just showed up with his truck a little while ago before I came on saying the universe is against me, Dad. It's testing me. I said, Jake, it's testing you for patience. It's testing you because it wants you to have patience and understand that whenever you're buying something doesn't mean it's going to work. So he's been buying all this thing, all his racing stuff off of Summit. Basically, his Mustang is not a 67 Mustang. It's like a totally rebuilt with like upgrades on everything.
It's a resto mod. Yeah, I'm following.
Right. He's restored the whole thing, but he's using all new everything on it. So he just got the first set of brake lines they got recalled because they were stainless steel. Now he figured better, but what's better than stainless steel brake lines?
Nickel copper.
So they got recalled. So then they sent them brand new brake lines. Well, now he goes to put these new brake lines on. One of them's not open or something. The fitting wasn't drilled or something. Something's not working. Then the brake pad, the calipers and everything he got, they weren't going on. The vacuum assist for the brakes, the piston was sticking. So they had to send them a new one of them. It's just one thing after another, eh?
Right.
I said, be thankful. You got to drive it for a couple of months. And you got to all the car shows you wanted to.
Yep. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
That's a project for you. It
guess
never
what?
ends. That's just the way
Lori
it is.
says he's driving it home. So they got the tranny in and it's working.
Right on.
See, now
He's got brakes.
Well,
yeah.
Now, with the new transmission, hopefully he keeps his foot out of it for a couple of weeks.
He's got the performance plates on the Mustang.
Oh, Lordy.
Park it beside the company truck. It says Eliminator Performance.
Oh, so that's why it's breaking down. That's why.
Yeah, because it's got to go in storage shortly.
Right. You eliminate the performance once you never touches it.
You never saw the plate. The plate on the Mustang is performance, and the company truck has Eliminator on it.
No, wait, isn't that the way you guys work up there on cars? You work all year on them, then you store them for the rest of the year?
For the 67, it's going
and that's why our Canadian animal is a beaver. They work all freaking summer and they hide under the lodge in the winter.
Good one, Bruce. Yeah, we're all little beavers here in Canada.
So how about this? Do you watch automotive like YouTubers in Canada? Like, what's that crazy guy with the white guy with dreads? Is that Ruster Repair, Ruster Restore?
Yeah. Jake watches all that.
I thought he's in Vancouver, that area.
Isn't that Canada though?
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy him. Some people have some things to say about him, but I like him. He's a little kooky. He doesn't do everything perfect, which I like because that means you get to enjoy it. You know.
Take care, Doug.
It's like us.
I'm thankful for you guys. I got to hit the road. Jake's going to come back. He's going to be a happy camper because the machine's on the road again.
Yeah. Well, we're about at the 2-hour mark, so we're going to end it in a minute or two anyway.
Here's one thing. Have you guys seen Rayleigh's? Have you watched Rayleigh's videos where he's got that song on? Did he hire somebody to make that song for him?
Oh, about himself?
He did that on a computer app.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Boy, did it come out really good. Yeah.
I've seen the ads on YouTube saying, do you want to make a song for your channel? And I've seen
Okay, well, this song that he did is super. I'm impressed. It's a good song.
Barely alive.
Yeah.
Barely alive.
T-Bone working on
it. Makeshift.
Working fine. Yeah, everything's going out the door today. Good.
Or there's the other one I like. Let's get technical.
So if you want, there's like AI generated apps, but also there's this app or website, this thing called Fiverr. And basically, let's just say you could hire someone to edit videos for you. You could hire someone to create thumbnail. You could hire people to do endless things, and you could look on for people to do stuff like that, and you negotiate a price with them. So sometimes it's like Craigslist where you can create an ad. Hey, I got a 30-minute YouTube video. I need edited down to 10 minutes. And then this is your budget. Now, it might not be a lot of money to you, but you might get somebody in a different country where your dollar
$100 is a lot to them. Yeah.
And they'll accept that, and they will,
I think you're better off just to get Big John over there to do your intro. I don't know what his fee is. What's your fee, John?
Let's see. I calculated the other day, and I'm up to nothing still.
You're a good man, John Clem.
Somebody will
was-
fix a
I
chainsaw
sure-
for you.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep on getting these emails from somebody. Your station or your YouTube channel
Yeah.
can grow if you let me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marketing.
don't do that. Those are called, what are those,
Yeah,
SEOs? SEOs they restate
Yeah.
themselves as? Yeah, don't
Give me a
mess
few of
with
those Milwaukee tools, and I'll help you grow your channel.
Yeah.
As long as you split the money with them, Hank, right? Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We can
All right, we got
triple,
about 10
quadruple your
Erica's
subscribers. Just
I already
Hey,
see,
there's
I
her
see the
hair.
sky. I see the sky.
I only see part of her head. I don't see much.
Yeah.
of-
She's looking
Hey.
for UFOs.
Hey guys,
there we are.
Erica.
it might be loud here. I'm at lawnmower races.
Yeah.
Oh, get
Cool.
out of here.
I thought it was either that or somebody ate pork and beans.
Yeah.
Wayne, Wayne, you know where Perth, Ontario is?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we are today.
Oh, nice.
It's beautiful.
I was always hoping that somebody around here in Southern Ontario would have tractor racing.
So start it. EP races. Eliminate your
Peak
performance
performance.
races. Build a racetrack in your
How far is that
backyard.
from Port Colborne? Wayne?
It's a ways. It's on the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say is
On the
in a
other
nice
side of Lake
area,
Ontario.
not where he lives.
I'm gonna go in for you.
Yeah, we're likely, I don't know, 4 hours away or something, I
The
think.
difference between men and boys is the price of the toys.
You got that right.